Hello, welcome to Crazy Cars 3 on the C64. Now, some people might be surprised to find that there is a version of Crazy Cars 3 on the 64, but there is indeed. And of course this started life on the Amiga, and it's quite a good game on the Amiga, well, I think so anyway, but perhaps not as immediately accessible as some other race games on the Amiga, but once you get into it I think it's quite a good game. The 64 version does make quite a lot of heavy use of interlaced graphics, so I'm not quite sure how well these will show up on YouTube, and to be honest they don't really work too well on an emulator, but on a real 64 they look pretty good, pretty smart, but so you know, that's the technology that existed when the game came out, so you know, I can't fault the guys, developers for that. Right, so let's get started. Yeah, you can see even some of these character graphics are interlaced. I'm not quite sure how they'll look. Oh my god, the Mr. T look like. There he is. Yeah, there's quite a lot of characters here. And certainly, the developers spent a lot of time capturing the presentation of the Amiga version. There's no doubt about that. Now I'm playing the disc version here, and I would imagine that the cassette version's a little chopped down, but I haven't actually played that version, so I couldn't tell you for sure. And I would imagine the gameplay must be a bit more linear. But on the disc version, it's you know, you can pick and choose what races you want to do. But I would imagine on cassette it's just you know, they're in a set order. I would imagine. Otherwise, it's going to be quite unwieldy, the multi-load. Again, the map here is interlaced, so to be fair, interlaced graphics they do give me a bit of a headache after a while. To be honest, I'm not quite sure why they went down that route. So let's enter this race. Right, now can I afford this race? Yeah, okay. Now the game takes place, you can enter various races, there's different prize money and different risk of police and things like that. So you've got to take all that into account. And before you start the race, you get to place bets. Now, how much money you want to risk is up to you. But you can try and risk a bit more money and get the pot up. Again, more interlaced graphics. These developers are obsessed with them. Right, I'll just bet X amount. Okay, everybody wants to stand that. I'm obviously put too much in. Right, well now we can actually get to the race. Now this doesn't quite hefty multi-load, so I'm not quite sure I'd ever want to see the cassette version of this. So. Yeah, on the Amiga, this was quite a fast and smooth game. Probably one of the fastest race games on the Amiga, I think. There's quite a lot of variety in the graphics if you play the game enough. But on the 64, the main graphics engine for the race sections isn't that great. It's okay, but it's not the worst I've seen. But it's far from the best. And here we go. You can see the road doesn't move left right. The car itself moves left right, I'm afraid. But okay, the hills are done reasonably well, I think. The controls are okay. They're a bit slippery, but that's the way they're supposed to be. I mean, they're like that on the Amiga. That's part of the challenge, I think. There's plenty of other cars on the screen. To provide a bit of you know, bit of skill involved here rather than just racing down the road. I think we can activate turbo. I think there we go. It doesn't seem to be any sound effects, just music. I'm not sure there was an option to turn the sound effects on. But, yeah, I think the road effects alright, but it would have been nice if the road scrolled left or right or moved or something, but it's not very exciting to look at. And it's certainly not as exhilarating as Super Cycle or, you know, the top 64 race games. This is certainly not one of them. Music's okay, but you see there's not a lot of variety in the roadside graphics at all. They're quite bland. The gameplay itself is not particularly thrilling. It's quite dull actually. I don't see any bridges or anything that the Amiga version had, so the routine itself seems quite simplistic. And really, there's not much challenge here at all. But this is just the first race in the game. But I have played it a bit, this game, and it doesn't get much more difficult. I mean, it is more of a chore than an exhilarating experience. Let's activate more turbo, try and finish the race more quickly. You can see that there's a split at the top of the screen where the status panel is. And that's interlaced again. I'm surprised that there isn't interlaced in the bloody race race section. The developers do seem obsessed with that. If you play some of the other races, they look fairly similar, except they've got different coloured graphics. But, the roadside graphics, they're not particularly big or impressive. You know, they're fairly smallish. If you played Power Drift or Turbocharge or Turbo Outrun, all those games have got big roadside graphics. You know, and the road slides left and right when you move. Right, well, there's not much more I can show you in this game because this is pretty much it. The gameplay doesn't change that much. I would say that it's quite an improvement on the first Crazy Cars game, which I detest with a passion. This game is actually playable, if a little on the dull side. But the developers clearly know what they're doing. It's just the gameplay itself just could have been made more interesting, maybe. As a conversion of the Amiga game, it's not. They certainly captured all the presentation side of it very well, but the core of the game is it's not really in the same league as the Amiga version, I think. Right. So what do I rate this? Whoa, more interlaced graphics. I think graphically it's quite smart. I mean, if you can put up with the interlaced graphics, it's quite smart. Well, I couldn't find any sound effects. There might be some, but the music's okay. It's reasonable enough versions of the Amiga tunes. Gameplay wise, it's really the weak area, and unfortunately that's the most important area. So yeah, I think I'll give this 3.5 out of 10, I think, because the gameplay is just not up to much at all. Okay, that's all for this video. See you in the next video.